Welcome back to another video. My name is Nick Noyes with Noyes Designs Jewelry, here with Rio Grande to show you how I made this opal pendant. Stay tuned, I'm going to walk you through how I created this one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry. I hope you enjoy it.
Once I have my center stone picked out, I take paper and pencil and finalize my design. I check the height of my gold bezel wire and then start forming it to shape. Carefully bending with my pliers to not go too far. Once it's formed, I solder it together, carefully placing a bead of solder on the ends. I create a silver under bezel, forming it to match the shape and putting the gold bezel on top. Then I flow the solder again to fuse the two. I take my design on sticker paper and cut out each piece separately. Once all the elements are cut out, I sweat solder them together to form the final elements. Using my dapping set, I add curve and depth to each piece. Once everything is filed and cleaned up, I put every element together on the backplate and carefully solder it together, making sure that not a single piece moves in the process. Once I cut out the backplate, I put it in the pickle and get ready to pick out my accent gems. Then I place it in my GRS micro ball vise to start setting the stones. These carbide round burrs are my go-to. I use them on every single thing I make. I absolutely love these. I put it in my flex shaft and I start cutting out the seats. Once all the seats are drilled, I turn on my GRS graver mock and I start cutting out the beads with my 120-degree C-Max graver. I love this thing, it stays sharp for so long in silver. I re-clean out the seats with my carbide round burrs and then add gemstones one by one with beeswax. Using my beading tool, I carefully push a small bead of metal over the corner of each stone. This locks them in place, but be careful not to clip the stone with your beading tool because they will break. Then I use my 120-degree graver and start cutting out the rest of the beads, carefully making sure to not overrun the border of each side. Placing them with beeswax once again, I get my beading tool and continue to push it down. A quick tip for accuracy with the round burr is to lay it on its side when you're cutting. It allows you to start the hole in the right place before you turn it all the way up. Engraving the back, I sketch out my design in pencil. Then I go over it with a scribe before I actually cut the design with my graver. Here I'm using my same 120-degree C-Max graver. I'm telling you, I love these things. They stay sharp for so long. There is something so meditative about this stage of engraving. I absolutely love it. If you've ever wanted to try hand engraving, I can't recommend it enough. Once I finish engraving the pattern, I do background removal with flat gravers and more round carbide burrs. Then I start shading, and shading is what really brings engraving to life. In a piece this small, there are still countless amounts of lines that I cut, but the final result is magic. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with engraving, and the more I learn, the more I want to do it. Once I finish engraving, I oxidize this piece in liver of sulfur, and then I take my opal and get ready to set it. Now this is an 18 karat bezel, so I'm being careful with my brass punch to lightly push the gold over the top of the stone. Opals are notoriously soft, so I am very careful, especially on the corner. Once everything is set, I bright cut with a flat graver, and this is another stage where you need to be very careful. Flat graver can very easily chip an opal, so I'm very careful as I'm cutting on this stage. But trust me, the final result is worth it. I give it a good polish on my buffing wheel, and then lock it in my micro ball vise to polish the engraving. I love having an easy place to lock it down, and using a fine grit paper like this really allows the detail to stay in the engraving. Here is the final result. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and if you enjoy my jewelry or videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would truly mean a lot to me. See you next time.